Hello YouTube, it's your boy, the Passport Bro Wingman, coming at you again with another video. You see the title of the video, Passport Bros expect the rebirth of SOSUA. I just wanted to give my perspective on this whole situation that's happening in SOSUA with the continued raids throughout the city in which they're cracking down on the 304 activity and also a lot of the clubs and bars and that kind of thing, to the point where they're arresting a lot of working girls and also supposedly like tourists and so forth. They even said there was a case of when a guy, I guess he had took one of the working girls to his hotel. The police came in there, they took the girl out and the guy and that kind of thing. And so right now everyone's wondering it like what is the whole purpose of all this? What is going to be the permanent impact, if there's going to be a permanent impact? Is Sasua going to be completely ruined? Is it now out of the top 4 destinations for Passport Bros? And so I just wanted to say this. Keep this in mind that this has happened not only in the DR. Things like this have happened in Cartagena, Colombia. It's also happened in Thailand. There's been plenty of times in Thailand where certain bars there have been raided. Probably within the next week or so, that same bar is lifted back up, but now uses like a different name. In most of these cases, this is just political theater. They want to, at least a lot of these countries want to give the illusion that at least they're trying to crack down and clean up their image and that kind of thing. Because a lot of times their images get out on the internet. There's a lot of people speaking out about this. So a lot of times they don't want their quote unquote dirty laundry out there for everyone to take a look at. So what they do is they try to, from time to time, they try to show that they're trying to rebuild the city and get rid of certain activities and that kind of thing. But the problem is, in each one of these countries, they can't really do it for a variety of reasons. For one, in many cases, their dollar and economies have been crashing. There's like high unemployment. So a lot of people have had to try to find various ways to try to survive. Outside of people joining like the cartels and stuff like that, one other thing that some of the people have done, especially the women, if they, obviously they engaged in a lot of the red light activities. And so you got to keep in mind that DR is not a welfare state type of country. So the girls don't get welfare. A lot of them have, kids and so forth. A lot of times the girls in red light areas, they tend to be like single mothers. They have children, that kind of thing. And it's kind of has helped them survive and manage for so long. My whole thing about this is there was a lot of talk about a new casino and hotels and restaurants and that kind of thing coming in, because I understand that DR, they want to try to find other ways to bring in their income, because the DR is heavily they're a big portion of that GDP comes from tourism. So much so that even during COVID, they didn't even close their borders to the world. They closed only certain parts of the country, and that was only for about like 15 days, but they didn't have the money to really close. And plus, this was during a time when they were expecting a high amount of tourists to come into their countries to fund like their businesses and so forth. So they mainly stayed open to the whole COVID situation, which should let you know that this is going to be more of a temporary thing. Now, I do understand that they're going very hard, and people is beyond. It's kind of like a rate above all their rates that they're currently doing. But in the long term, because I understand what they're trying to do is get to a point where they're going to try to bring in a different type of tourism. They want to see if they can kind of bring in more of like the family, like the family trip type thing, where like the mom and the dad and the children come to the DR. But the only pushback I have on that, the reason I think it's not going to work, is because that country versus countries like such as Brazil and Colombia, at least in Colombia, they have like hiking trails, there's mountains, there's all types of different attractions there. For example, Costa Rica has a lot of attractions there, such as you can go there, you go, not only can you do like whitewater rafting, but they have like lots of trails. There's a big bass fishing competition there. So what I'm saying is there's other things there that attract the people there, just besides, like the girls and the nightlife and that kind of thing. But when I went to the DR, I mainly went to like Santo Domingo. There wasn't a lot of attractions out there besides, clubbing and partying and maybe the beach and that kind of thing. So for that reason, it's not going to be like a hot spot like I said, like the Costa Rica or Cancun or that kind of thing. So I just think that it's going to be more of a temporary thing. It may take a year or so to return back to the original president or whatever, because I think a lot of people are going to be kind of worried, because especially with the fact that they were actually arrested some tourists and that kind of thing. I think that got a lot of people a little worried. So a lot of that traffic is going to get diverted towards like Cancun, Costa Rica, Colombia, Puerto Rico. People are going to start going to those cities. And to be honest with you, a lot of the people they were targeting as far as like these raids and stuff, keep in mind that there are a lot of Haitians that come across the border, and a lot of them in very desperate situations. And to keep from being deported, a lot of them tend to do work underground without papers. And unfortunately, a lot of them wind up being exploited by like pimps and that kind of thing, especially like the children and so forth. So I think in many cases, a lot of these raids was kind of to target that, to kind of keep a lot of the women from being exploited by pimps. And you know, and plus there's a huge crackdown on a lot of the illegal immigrants there. So I think this is a big portion of that. If you notice, like Trump has put heavy tariffs on a lot of these countries, and it's having like a heavy impact. And so as a result, if you notice across the board, all various countries, even in Africa, even in like South Africa, there's big talks about mass immigration and deporting people and that kind of thing. So I think this crackdown was more so to get rid of a lot of the ped people, and the crackdown on them, make sure no one's being pimped out. And a lot of the clubs probably were unfortunately exploiting a lot of these women as far as like using them for money and that kind of thing. So they really wanted to break that up. So I believe that's the main factor driving this, because keep in mind that Trump is already talking about putting tax on remittance for people sending money back home to the DR. So once he starts affecting that, and also he even got the okay to reduce the amount of foreign aid as well. Once those two factors come into place, and also the fact that right now their economy is going to start crashing, because a lot of those women, that's where they got a lot of their money from. Once their money starts crashing, it's going to be a huge recession there. Now I know they're hoping that this hotel comes and these chains come here, they're going to kind of try to make up for the money. But I just think it's going to, by the time that happens, it's going to be so much damage done to the economy there that they're going to have to allow it again. I said a year. It's probably going to be even less than that. It might even be like 6 months. But the only upside of this is that to a lot of guys who like the mangoes, it's going to be a mango discount when you go there. So just expect that it's going to kind of work out in the end. But I don't want to keep this video too long. But I just want to mention that and just say that I think this is overall a temporary thing. They're going real hard right now because, again, I told you, I think because of the Haitians that are come across the border, a lot of them are beginning exploited. So I think they want to kind of really come in and break a lot of that up. And yeah, so that's a major portion of it, and also the new change as well. But tell me what you think in the comment section. If you think this is going to be temporary, it's going to be permanent. Do you think SOSUA should stay in this top 4 destinations for passport bros? And please subscribe to my channel if you have not. And until next time, this is your boy, the Passport Bro Wingman, signing off.